πως με πήρες για καφέ βάρη γλυκό, για να με πίνεις κάθε μέρα στο φλιτζάνι. Μπορεί να είμαι στη ζωή μηδενικό, μα είμαι φτιαγμένη από δύσκολο χαρμάνι. Μπορεί να είμαι στη ζωή μηδενικό, μα είμαι φτιαγμένη από δύσκολο χαρμάνι.
Good afternoon. Today you're going to hear a blog about Greek wine. My name is Cara.
And I am Nicole.
To start out with today, we'd like to start with a history in brief. Greek wine has been a part of culture for nearly 4,000 years. Believed to have helped with the metaphysical and physiological connection with nature, sweet wines were once regarded as the god's drink. Dionysus is the Greek god of wine. Likewise, he is the god of madness, drunkenness, and theater, and was worshipped from 1500 to 1100 BC by cult Greeks. Another interesting tidbit is that enology is derived from the Greek word enology, and is said to be about making wine.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the Greek climate. The vines are planted at higher altitudes, approximately 800 meters above sea level along the mountain slopes. And the mild climate has hot summers and short, mild winters. The breeze from the sea helps to cool the vines during the growing season. And because irrigation is not permitted, drought can be a huge problem. But Greece has a few varietals, such as Sarventino, that are a higher resistance to the drought. The soils in Greece have a low fertility, with limestone on the mainland and volcanic soil on the islands. Greece is also part of the European Union. It has a vineyard area of about 129,000 hectares and does approximately 3,500,000 hectoliters in production. The wine laws follow those of the EU. They have the AOC, Appellation d'Origine, the AOQS, Appellation d'Origine de Qualité Supérieure, TA, which is traditional appellation and has to do only with Ristina. Now remember that word because I'm going to talk about it later. They also have vin de pas and table wines. The sweet wines of Greece are designated as OPE, which is Controlled Appellation of Origin, and have a blue seal on them. The dry wines, in contrast, are called OPAP. They're appellation of superior quality and have a pink seal. But the Greeks, much like Italians, love to break the rules, so make sure you read all the labels when purchasing your wine.
Interesting. Thank you, Nicole. Now we're going to begin with talking about Greek wine regions. There are many regions in Greece, but we're going to just talk about a few. To start out with, we're going to talk about the Peloponnese region. First referenced by Homer, he called it the Amphilochia region, called full of vines. Very diverse in landscape, the vineyards are anywhere grown from plateaus to mountainous hillsides, and were never depleted during wars or by phylloxera in recent and past years. Nîmes is the most important AOC region in southern Greece and is known for its red wines. Agricotica is the grape used for the deep red complex wines there, and are used to having a velvety palate. Higher up in the mountains of this area of Peloponnese is the AOC Mantina with its white wines. There are also 4 very important AOCs in northwestern Peloponnese region. Fantisa Foods in New Jersey is one of the most important importers into the U.S. from the Peloponnese region.
I'm going to talk about Macedonia. It is one of the oldest and finest winemaking regions in Greece. One of the many places affected by phylloxera, and wars and immigration have slowed Macedonia's progress, but in recent years, lots of money and technology have been invested to create a better name for their wines. Nyasa was one of the first registered AOCs of Greece. Its premier grape is Vino Marvo. Some very cutting-edge wines come from the Bordeaux-trained winemaker Angelos Itradidis. He works out of the Alpha estate in the AOC region of Emention. Some of the other estates in Macedonia are the domain Porto, Cara, and Katima Tabilidas. The main importers into the U.S. are the diamond importers who export from Alpha Estate into Chicago, and then the Banis Foods, which export from the Athos Vineyards into New Jersey.
Interesting. Moving on, we're going to go to the Epirus region on the western coast of Greece. This is a very mountainous and hidden-away region, but produces some very fine quality wines, even though the terrain is very difficult to grow in. Because it's so high up also, a lot of the native varieties don't grow well here, but recently Cabernet Sauvignon for France has been introduced and is doing very well in this region. Zitza, in one of the cooler plateau regions of this area, is made with delicate sweet wines and also for some very delicious sparkling wines. One of the main U.S. importers is Hellas Import in Brookline, Massachusetts.
Thank you, Cara.
No problem.
I'm going to talk about Stara and Lada. The main region here is Attica, which is near Athens. And Attica is famous for Ristina. Remember? I'm going to talk about it now. Oh, a main exporter is Cortacus. Now, Ristina is a white wine, and it has been around for at least 2,000 years. It began as a practice of sealing wine in vessels that are lined with an ancient Aleppo pine resin. The pine resin would coat the inside of the wine vessel and prevent oxidation of the wine inside. But also, in doing that, it would create a pine aroma and flavor in the wine. And then, the Romans, in the 3rd century AD, began using barrels. So the need for the resin vessels wasn't needed anymore. So, because they still desired the flavor and style, it is a technique still used today, and they just add in the resin instead of hold it in the vessels.
Interesting. Well, that concludes our presentation today about Greek wine. We're going to cut to a small clip on the computer after this to show you different websites that can tell you even more about the famous Greek wine region. Some that we didn't cover today were the Ionian Islands,
Crete,
Aganon Islands as well. So we'd like to thank you for watching our presentation.